Hello junior section boys, it's really good to be back with you. Now, this week as part of our badge work activity, we are going to do something that I'm sure you've seen a lot of in the shops at the moment. One of these, a pumpkin. Yeah, so I'm sure you've seen loads of these and maybe you've already carved your own pumpkins for your doorsteps. But sometimes when we carve pumpkins, we're usually carving some scary faces or maybe some ghosts or maybe some witches in the front of them. But this year I want to challenge you to do something different. I'm going to show you how to carve a Christian pumpkin, which tells the story of Jesus. Now, as like all good things, I have one I have prepared earlier. So here it is. So as you can see, I've used a star for its eye. Now the star shone brightly in Bethlehem when Jesus was born, and the star was what took the kings the whole way to find this new king. So that reminds us all about the birth of Jesus. You can see that I have a cross for its nose. It's an empty cross, and the empty cross reminds us that Jesus, although he died, he rose again. So that he would take away all the things that we do wrong, so that we could be friends with God the Father again. And for its mouth, you can see, well, hopefully you can see, it's the shape of a fish. And this is called ichthys. And it was the name used, or the sign used, for early Christians when they had to meet in secret. And they used to put this on their door so that other Christians would know that that's where Christians were meeting that night. And they could gather together, those who followed Jesus and were trying to live by him. And then the fourth thing about our Christian pumpkin is this little tea light that we'll light and we'll put in the middle of it. And Jesus reminds us, he told us in the Bible, that he is the light of the world, that he pushes away the darkness, that he brings light into dark places, and that we can know his light in our lives. So that's our Christian pumpkin. We're going to get started and I'm going to show you how to carve this. And I've got myself a good sized pumpkin. I'm going to just give a little clean. Just because who knows where it's been sitting, but just give it a little wash and a little clean and take any dirt or dust off it. I've also put a piece of cardboard on my table so that I don't mark my table as I try to do this. Okay, I don't think your mums or your dads would be terribly pleased if the table ends up scored. Okay, so put something down. I put quite a big bit of cardboard down just to stop that. You might want to get a chopping board or something, it depends what you have. But just want to get rid of all the muck and the dirt that possibly could be there. As you can see, nice little bit of muck there I've managed to clean off. Okay, so once we've done that, we can try. And now, if you get a sharp knife, now this is where you're going to need your mum's or your dad's help, okay? Because we don't want any injuries or any cuts. So if you get them to help you do this. So what we want to do is just make a round incision in the top. This is going to be, this will help us to try and scoop out all the flesh inside. So just be very careful. You just want to kind of score the top of it, and then you can, once you've made your circular shape, you can then start to cut into it. So now that I've done that, I want to gently cut the knife in and around my scored shape. Be very careful. Don't catch any fingers. What you want to do is go round it again. You can make just a bit of muscle. Nearly there. Start. Trying to get this loosened. I'd like to say this is the hardest bit, but I actually think scooping it out is the hardest bit. There we go. Now, nice. Got the top open. Okay, nice sized hole there. Okay, this is where the fun really begins. So what you want to do is get yourself one of your mum's compost bags so that you can lift the flesh into it. Unless you are a culinary genius and are able, maybe you're gonna eat the pumpkin flesh. Maybe you're going to make something out of it, maybe pumpkin soup or something. You can do that, but bits and pieces, the seeds and stuff, you want to try and get into your food bag. I'm just going to cut off the top of this and trim, just make it a wee bit neater. Take the flesh off this. So that's our lid nicely done. And now we're going to try and get all this flesh out. So again, you need to be really careful. Get a knife and start to cut down into it and try to hollow it out. Okay, so this will take a bit of time, so just be very, very careful and just listen to your mums, your dads, whoever's helping you do this, and watch our fingers. Just start to scoop all the seeds and everything out of that. So when I cover the table, because this tends to just go everywhere. Sometimes it's good just to turn it upside down. Put it on its side even. You can scoop all that flesh out. And it gives you a chance to see where you still got left. Okay, good. Going okay. quite wet. I think it's quite ripe, actually. Okay, nearly there. Nearly there. And then you want to try and make a flat, if you can, bit at the bottom so that your light can go in it. Okay, I think we're there. So this is what your pumpkin should look like. You can see all nicely scooped out, no flesh sitting, and then you have your lid. You need to find the right way to put it on. Yeah, your lid will sit nicely in place. So it will, just like that. Okay, so this is where the fun bits begin. So it does. Just gonna lift the pumpkin flesh out of the way. Just gonna give the pumpkin a little dry. Okay, so after washing it, so what I always do is I try and find the bit that looks the flattest, or the best bit at the front. It's going to be our front. So try and see what looks the best side of your pumpkin, really, is what I'm trying to say. So I think that bit there is my best side. So this is where you want to get a pencil. Now, most people like to draw witches or just pumpkin faces in their pumpkin. I'm going to teach you a different style of pumpkin. It's called the Christian pumpkin, and it helps us tell the Christian story. So what we're going to do is, for the eyes, we're going to draw 2 stars. For its nose, we're going to draw a cross. And for its mouth, we're going to draw the shape of a fish. Okay? And then we're going to be able to tell our pumpkin story. So we'll start with drawing 2 stars. So if you just use your pencil, and we're gonna just mark and just sketch a little bit. Okay. So how I draw my stars is I draw 2 triangles, one the right way up and then one upside down. It's going to be my star. Obviously these are just rough marks, and when you cut it with your knife, you can go over the marks just to keep you right. I'm going to draw that a wee bit bigger. I'll be able to correct this. So 2 stars, a cross for its nose, and then a fish for its mouth. Okay, so I don't know if you can see those marks. You can. Okay, go a wee bit closer. Okay, so 2 stars, a cross, and then a fish for its mouth. Okay, so to tell the Christian story is the star was very, very important in the Christian story. You remember that when Jesus was born, that a new star appeared over his manger, and it took the shepherds and the wise men to find where the new king was born. The cross, obviously, we remember that Jesus died for us at Easter time, that he was the one that was able to mend the gap between us and God the Father, that he paved the way for us to come back to God, to be friends with God, and that he ultimately took all our sin, all the things that we do wrong of ourselves, onto him, so that we can be forgiven, that we don't have to think about them anymore, and that they're taken away from us, that Jesus dealt with that. And then the fish at the bottom of our Christian pumpkin is all about the new church. That's the sign that they used when they had to try and meet in secret with each other. They used the sign of the fish, so that people knew where Christians were meeting and people who loved Jesus and wanted to follow him. So what we're going to do is we're going to carve this out. So this is a bit you need to be really, really careful with. You don't want to, you're going to get your mums or your dads to help you with. So we're just going to gently carve this out. Just going to score it a little bit first to get it started. And just push it through like I did, your first bit, and then you can neaten it up. Okay. That's my first star. So onto my second star, just scoring it like the first one. push through the triangle again, and then do your second bit of the star. Okay. I think the second star looks better than my first. I'll let you see it. Yeah, that one looks more like a star shape. This one went a bit skew if. Don't know if I can fix that. I'll see what I can do. Danger is always the more cutting you do, the worse it might look. Looks a bit better. Looks a bit better. Anyway, I think you at home can do much better. Okay, let's go on to the nose then, to the cross. Now, hopefully you'll be able to push this out. This is where you need the help of your parents to help you do this. Okay, it's one bit of the cross out. Let's try and get the next bit. Okay, that's my cross, as you can see. Let's get these bits out. Okay, and now my fish. Now, this will take a wee bit of time to do, okay? So again, just be very careful. Be very careful and get your mums, your dads to help you with this. Just scoring it again so that I have a good marker. Let's see how we go here. Okay, we're getting there. Now, there's my big mouthpiece out. And then I'm just going to do the fins. Oh, is it a fin? It's probably a tail actually. Okay, so I'm just going to cut a wee bit away of the mouth, which is the fish. Just pull it out. Any excess, get rid of it. Okay, now let me show you my mouth. Okay. See the way it's a shape of fish? Okay, so set that down. I'm going to give my hand a wash, and I'm just going to give the pumpkin a little wipe. Make sure that I get rid of any flesh that's got stuck to it. That out. Now, all's looking well. And what you want to do is get, if you get a battery tea light, and then you can place it in the bottom, and that is your Christian pumpkin. Let's put the lid on it. Always takes me a while to match it up what way the lid goes. Okay, so that is your Christian pumpkin all ready to be lit. Looks well.